If you head deep into the woods of Connecticut, past the postcard towns and rolling hills, you may stumble upon a town so haunted they had to permanently close it to the public. Now, it's illegal to enter. Forbidden. This strange and mysterious place is called Dudleytown, and it's often whispered to be one of the most cursed places in America. But why? What's going on here? This is Avery After Dark, and I'm your host, Avery Ross. It is so good to see you. I'm so happy you decided to tune in today because I have a great, creepy episode for you. Subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and turn on post notifications. And in the comments, be sure to tell me where you're tuning in from in the world. And then, I want you to get cozy. Grab a blankie and some snacks. Just trust me, it's about to get very eerie. This is the haunting of Dudleytown. Dudleytown is a haunted, abandoned town in Cornwall, Connecticut, and it's really different from any other place in the world. It was once a thriving village that was wiped out by a centuries-old curse, causing a string of strange accidents, mysterious disappearances, and unexplained deaths, driving residents to madness, insanity. So what's the deal with this curse? Well, there's a persistent legend that the Dudley family carried a curse from England, often traced to Edmund Dudley, a nobleman executed for treason around Henry VII's reign. And many believe this curse followed the Dudley family to America, spreading through the town. Dudleytown is one of the most fascinating places in America. Years back on TikTok, someone suggested I look into it. And the more I read about it, the stranger it got. I posted a TikTok about it, and that TikTok got millions of views. And then I saw everyone covering Dudleytown, every mystery and paranormal podcast or channel. It was like a flurry of fascination in this place. The story of the town, the legends behind it, what happened to make this the most haunted town in America? Let's get into it. I am so excited for this episode. Now, Dudleytown itself was never an actual town. As the name suggests, the name was given to a settlement of Cornwall, Connecticut. And this is a very old place. Some of the original settlers included several members of the Dudley family, and Dudleytown is located in a valley known as the Dark Entry Forest. Spooky name, right? It was reportedly named due to the shadows caused by the mountains surrounding the village. The forest terrain is dense, deep woods. Surrounding mountains lead to limited sunlight, so shadows really dominate the forest, which gives that overwhelmingly gloomy, mysterious, isolated ambiance. This town area has been privately owned by the Dark Entry Forest Association since the 1920s. This is a real abandoned town with barely any original structures from the town left, just stacks of ruins. Only old foundations and cellar holes remain. It is strictly forbidden to enter Dudleytown. It's closed to the public due to vandalism and trespassing. But ask locals, and they will tell you there is something really strange about Dudleytown. So things really kicked into high gear when the Blair Witch Project film came out in 1999, which was about a haunted forest, and many compared this to Dudleytown. So people began visiting from all over and wanted to check out Dudleytown, wanting to spend some time in those woods and investigate. Were the rumors true? Is this place really haunted? But apparently some tourists began trashing it, and, I don't really doubt that. So it was officially closed to the public, and they are very serious about this. You cannot go to Dudleytown anymore. But this isn't where the rumors started, not even close. Talk of Dudleytown being cursed has persisted for hundreds of years. Dudleytown has a dark, tragic, mysterious past. It got weird, but before we discuss the history, we need to talk about what people say it's like in Dudleytown, because it is truly bizarre. Over the decades, many who have ventured inside the woods have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, feeling touched, feelings of overwhelming dread, sudden quick drops in temperature. Dudleytown, Connecticut is believed to be demonically possessed. Within the bounds of Dudleytown, it's apparently otherworldly. Stepping inside the forest is pretty eerie. There's a very heavy energy, and it's completely silent. Not just because it's an abandoned town, there's no one around. It's unnaturally quiet. Many compare it to stepping inside a recording booth. No birds, no animals, no bugs, no sound of leaves rustling in the wind. It's just complete silence. Researchers have studied it and say it's like stepping into a complete void. And it gets stranger. Hundreds of visitors have said that when they have entered Dudleytown, their cameras will malfunction. Photos won't develop. Digital cameras, photos taken on phones, they will come out distorted, or in some cases, the cameras just stop working altogether. But when people leave Dudleytown, the cameras work just fine. One visitor said he visited Dudleytown back in the 90s, taking a disposable camera with him, taking a bunch of photos along the way. After he takes the film to get developed, and every single photo was either distorted or just completely black. Another very common occurrence inside Dudleytown, visitors say they'll enter the forest, begin walking, and find themselves super disoriented, like they're walking in circles. And there were countless people that said it took hours for them to find their way out of the woods. That's a real nightmare to me. Many report the feeling of being watched inside Dudleytown. Just that feeling like if you turned around fast enough, you would catch someone staring at you. There are countless reports of security chasing people out of Dudleytown. So I'm definitely not advising anyone try to go there. There are reports of men chasing people out with guns. I would just avoid that place altogether. So how did Dudleytown end up here? We got to discuss the history, and I'll warn you, it is very unsettling. There are many accounts of what transpired in Dudleytown. So what I did was compile a list of the most commonly reported events in the town's history. So we're going back in time to 1510. The story of Dudleytown actually doesn't start in Dudleytown because it didn't exist yet. Our story starts in England, and at the center of it, an Englishman named Edmund Dudley. Story says he was allegedly caught trying to overthrow the King of England and was beheaded. It's pretty shocking, but in that time period, beheading was thought to be the most humane and least painful way to be executed. So this would be considered a dishonor to England. And this legend states that there was a group of people in the royal circle that were heavily involved in witchcraft. And this group placed a curse on Edmund Dudley and all of his descendants. Call it what you want, a hex, a curse, basically bad fortune, pain, suffering. The Dudley family was to be forever tormented and haunted by Edmund's betrayal of the royals. So fast forward, years and years later, a great-grandson named William Dudley came to America in the 1630s, as many settlers did, looking for a better life, freedoms, and a fresh start. And eventually other members of the Dudley family followed. Dudleytown was settled in the 1740s by many, including Thomas Griffiths, Gideon Dudley, Barzillai. I'm probably not pronouncing that one right. Barzillai, Dudley, and Abiel Dudley. So by the early 1800s, the town was flourishing with a community of several hundred people. They had a church, a general store, a school, a blacksmith shop, all the makings of a prosperous village. A lot of the dark forest was converted to farmland, so that deadly curse that was placed on the family, if it was real, it seemed to be dormant. Everything was going well, albeit life was not easy for really anyone back then. But by all accounts, this little East Coast village was bustling. Maybe they were free from the supposed wrongdoings of their ancestor. They were optimistic. That was until things started to take a strange turn in Dudleytown. So it all began with this family that settled in Dudleytown, the Carters. They all died of cholera, which is an infection of the intestine. People will get sick after ingesting food or water with that specific bacteria. And back then, medicine was not what it is today. And bacterial diseases were one of the leading causes of death. So this entire family died, and the community really grieved them. Again, this was a pretty small town of just a few hundred, so they knew the family. And this seemed to set off a series of tragic and mysterious events. Around this time, Abigail Dudley, the oldest of the 4 Dudleys that founded the town, reportedly went completely insane. Reports say he began telling those in town about these horrifying creatures he was seeing in the woods of Dudleytown. Uh-oh, that's not good. This insanity reportedly went on until he eventually died, and from here on out, things get really bizarre. After this, Dudleytown resident Gershon Hollister was found murdered. A brutal scene, he was discovered at the home of another Dudleytown resident, William Tanner. And when they find Tanner, he is apparently, quote, babbling about demonic creatures, and according to reports, also went insane. He was claiming to see very similar things as Abigail. So creatures in the woods, demonic entities. His insanity progressed until he too passed away. So Dudleytown has been this really booming settlement up until now. In 1804, Sarah Swift, a resident of Dudleytown and wife of General Herman Swift, one of the town's most prominent residents, was standing on her front porch and was struck by lightning. She died. And after this, General Swift reportedly went completely insane as well. And again, just like the other 2 men, he spoke of these demonic, horrifying creatures that he was seeing in the woods. So these residents are all seeing similar things and reporting similar things, which is really eerie. All having the same visions of these creatures in the woods. You know, I gotta imagine the town's like, what is going on? Residents in town began to mysteriously vanish. There was a string of strange and unexplainable deaths. The crops were failing, and many of the farm animals in town were disappearing as well. So there is an undeniable collective downfall of Dudleytown. From the historical documents, it feels like something really strange took place in that town. Mental illness and insanity was rampant. So why are all these residents going insane? Why are they all speaking about seeing these creatures in the forest? Where are the residents and farm animals disappearing to? 1850, most of the remaining healthy living residents in town packed up and left. And within 30 years, Dudleytown was abandoned. Many believe this is supernatural, this is paranormal. But others argue that the land was difficult. Rocky ground, poor soil for farming, limited sunlight, shadowed by surrounding mountains, harsh winters, and over time, people just moved away. Until the late 1800s, when an Irishman named John Brophy moves to the area with his family, and he has a flock of sheep. But not long after moving to Dudleytown, his sheep began dying of unknown causes. And that wasn't all. It was reported his wife also mysteriously died. So I couldn't find in any reports if John stayed or if he left, but I'd like to think that he took his remaining sheep and got the heck out of there. As time progressed, the town was fading. Many of the structures began to decay and fall into ruin. By the early 1900s, a New York City surgeon named Dr. William Clark came upon Dudleytown, and he really liked it. He was really drawn to the land and actually wanted to build his summer home there, so he did. And over the next couple of years, he and his wife Harriet would spend weekends and summers there. Until 1918, things got pretty strange. One weekend, the doctor and his wife get to the summer house in Dudleytown when there's an emergency in New York City, so the doctor is called back into New York. He packs up and heads back to the city for this, leaving his wife at the house alone. He would only be gone for a day or 2, so she just decided to stay there. But according to the story, when he got back, he made a pretty horrific discovery. He found his wife had gone insane. And you guessed it. She was reporting seeing creatures in the woods, and not just that, she said that they attacked her. Yet another resident who wasn't even there that long goes insane in Dudleytown. In many cultures, forests, wooded areas are seen as thin places, where spiritual energies are amplified. And in folklore, demonic beings will often appear at the edges of forests, rivers. Many believe Dudleytown is some kind of portal to another realm. And throughout the years, talk of Dudleytown and its curse began to circulate. Ed and Lorraine Warren visited Dudleytown, and after spending time there, Ed Warren said, quote, "There is absolutely no question that Dudleytown was destroyed by the Dudley curse," end quote. They believed that the town was being manipulated by a demonic entity, which goes back to that original curse using witchcraft. Many researchers claim that Dudleytown is a negative power spot, which is a force that comes from inside or outside that causes pain, suffering, stress, anxiety, insanity, etc. So as you can imagine, many paranormal investigators have gone to Dudleytown to investigate. And many do believe that it is some kind of portal and there's a lot of dark energy there. Now, who owns Dudleytown currently? We covered this earlier, but it is the Dark Entry Forest Association, and they closed Dudleytown to the public in 1999. Straight up saying, we're not going to allow anybody here, no hikers, no visitors, no tourists, nobody. And it's interesting. The Dark Entry Forest Association keeps a very low profile, and they really don't do much to dispel the rumors. So they don't do interviews. They won't talk about the land, the town. And if you're wondering, well, who's in the Dark Entry Forest Association? They go to great lengths to conceal their identities. Interesting. Dudleytown is really so different from other ghost towns in America, which a lot of them stay open. They invite tourism, using those funds to maintain the town and its history. But not Dudleytown. It's illegal to enter. But that hasn't stopped the rumors, the stories about it being haunted and cursed. If anything, it's made it even more captivating. It's believed that Dudleytown is so active because the land itself has absorbed centuries of darkness, of tragedy, murder, deaths, all of it simmering in this small patch of forest. Skeptics argue that environmental hardships, that poor soil, remoteness, limited resources, are more likely to explain the decline of the settlement than a supernatural cause. But I argue that both could be true. You know? What do you believe? What do you think is happening in Dudleytown? Do you believe the legend? Do you believe the curse? Or is there a rational explanation for it all? One thing is certain, no one lives in Dudleytown anymore, and maybe that's a good thing. And this is very important. If you have visited Dudleytown, please let me know in the comments and tell me about your experience. I would so love to hear about your take and what you saw, what you felt, what you experienced, or if you know anybody that has visited Dudleytown. Want more haunted history and cursed corners of the world? Subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an episode. If you want bonus episodes every month, join memberships here on YouTube or join the Patreon. Next time, I've got so much more mystery coming your way. Until then, check out these videos. You could pick that one. This is a very spooky one. Or that one. This is a very eerie one. Which one are you gonna pick?